So today we're going to be chatting about something that I am a complete skeptic about. I'll be honest. I honestly have never owned anything of what we're about to talk about, and I don't really see the point yet. So I'm interested to see if you can change your mind, because we're talking about Belay carabiners. So screw-gate carabiners specifically and just for belaying. Because for me, whatever screw-gate I have spare, I tend to belay with, whether it's an gree or an ATC or a guide plate. And it doesn't always work very well, I will be honest. It kind of slips around a little bit. My carabiner doesn't quite fit my gree very well. It's just fiddly. So I'm up to the idea of change and getting one of these, but I do need to be persuaded. So DMM make a big range of screw-gate specific belay carabiners.
Yes, yeah, we do quite a few now. A couple of relatively new ones, and we've also got a brand new belay device specific carabiner as well, which I've got a little prototype one here.
So I've seen in climbing walls a lot, and in crags, the black one, that one you're holding up here, which kind of locks over. So let's start with the basics. Why does this do this, and what's the advantages?
Well, first off, I guess is the shape. So in general, a belay specific carabiner will be an oval or HMS shape, which means they are much wider at that top end, and that gives you an area for two ropes to run. It gives you an area for the belay device to lock against, rather than, let's say, obviously this is just spinning one round, but if it had a narrower end, narrower top to it, it might not sit as well. So that's the reason they have such a kind of a wide, flat shape, and it gives you that room, that gate open distance to clip, clove hitches if you were needing that, but to clip the multiple ropes in when you're belaying. So that's kind of a quick summary of the general shape. Obviously, what's different with the Belay Master is this clip. So that was designed just to make belaying a little bit safer, to prevent some of things you might forget about or accidents potentially happening. It is, as you've mentioned, centre use and wall use. It's really popular with people teaching climbing, if you've got multiple groups on the go, and that's because it's pretty obvious to see if this is open or shut, and if it's shut, the devices and the carabiner is set up correctly. So you'd rig it exactly like you would a normal belay device. Put your rope screw here, clip those. This is on your belay loop, and this plastic clip only shuts when the screw gets screwed up. So you can see here it's failing to shut. Once you've screwed it up, it will shut. So for a start, that it's screwed up. That it couldn't come unscrewed in any way. The second point of the clip is to keep the orientation on your harness on the belay loop correct. So your belay loop is where my finger is here on this end, and the ropes are running through here. Obviously, with a belay device, you're moving around quite a lot. You're taking in slack, paying out slack. There can be movement there. You could potentially get the device spinning around, cross-loading, the ropes running where they shouldn't, potentially even the ropes running over the gate. So that will completely stop that happening, obviously, with it held here. You can't spin it around. The
cross-loading thing is interesting because it almost happens by accident, because you're belaying, you're focusing on the climber, and you suddenly look down and realise your carabiner's changed and is cross-loaded, and then you have to kind of fiddle it, and you don't want to get your fingers trapped. So I do get that.
I guess the negative side of it as a better climber is I saw it as maybe a little bit bulky and a little bit time consuming. So that's where we've brought in a couple of new devices which are maybe a little bit quicker. So the first of our new beaners, it's been around a couple of years now, is the Rhino. So it's got this little horn on it for the Rhino name. So it doesn't have all the advantages of the Belay Master, but it kind of has some of them, but obviously in a much simpler form. So again, it's got that oval, that pear shape. So your belay loop, would sit down here, and your belay device at this end. We've got a lovely round bar, so where the ropes are running, you've got a really high wear surface. And what we've done here to prevent or limit the issue with cross-loading is by adding this horn in here. So if you're using a device like a gree, or I'm sure there's many other ones available, clip it in the normal way, the ropes are set up, and as it tries to cross-load or spin round, the gree hits against the Rhino's horn, and it won't go around that corner, because of the size of the hole. There's no way for the device to go round. So kind of by the weight and the movement, it will hold it in that correct orientation.
So good for things like gree-grees or click-ups, things that have a little hole. Not so good for an ATC, because obviously that's still going to move around.
It will, with an ATC, it would be slightly harder for the ropes to get around there. But yeah, essentially it won't make any difference with an ATC really.
Okay, so nice and simple. Next carabiner, what are we looking at?
So the next one, it's in the same family of carabiners, and this one's called the Ceros.
Why?
Rhinoceros.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's an extension to the Rhino, so it's got the same top half, it's got the same rhino's horn. Great time when we come up with names. So can be, all those same advantages if you're using it with a Gree. And like you said, with a Mantis, with a normal belay device, there's still that issue with cross-loading. So with this one, we've added in the extra little clip here. So it works in a very similar way to the Belay Master clip, except it doesn't, it's not reliant on the gate being screwed up. You still have to remember to do that. But once it's orientated on your harness, your belay loop is here, your ropes are here, and there can't be any cross-loading.
Now, I've used a few of these before, the only thing I find about that is if you aren't used to it, like I'm not, I always forget to actually clip my thing in, and then my climber's about to start and I have to sort of pause it and fiddle it all in, which I know is a small thing to pay for, but it's just one of those things I guess you've got to get into the habit of.
A little bit, yeah, so we've worked quite hard on this. I know it doesn't look overly complicated, but we've worked quite hard in trying to make it as user-friendly and as simple to use as possible. So the gate opens in that downwards direction. So as you clip it to your belay loop, if you're remembering to do it or doing it normally, you just give it a quick pull and the belay loop would click through.
That's cool, because otherwise you have to fiddle it, don't you? And that's a pain.
So you can basically do that hands-free. You clip it to your loop and just pull it, and it's good. And if for whatever reason you actually forgot to do that, as soon as you lower the climber or they fall off, it would pull into correct orientation. You wouldn't be loading the beaner like this. As soon as you put a tiny bit of force, it's going to click through and load completely correctly how it should be.
Yeah, so it's very simple, and I like the fact it just clips in. You're beginning to convince me, Ben, gradually.
So one extension to it, or one of the other beaners in the same range, is just a different gate type. So the one thing we haven't solved with the Rhino and the Ceros is remembering to screw up the gate. With the Belay Master, the clip only clips when it's shut. With the Rhino and Ceros, you have to remember to screw it up. So that's an area where you might be interested in things like the quick lock gate option. So it's a twist, and then when you shut it, it automatically twists shut. So it's still pretty easy to use. You just twist it into that open position, open gate, clip the gree, clip the ropes, whatever it is, and then when you let go, it automatically spins shut.
And the same gate with the push through.
We do this gate type on a lot of our beaners. Obviously, with the Ceros, you've still got you prevent the cross loading, you prevent any hole clipped device from spinning round, and then you can't forget to screw it up.
Any other that new carabiner hanging around there?
Yes.
What's going on with that one?
So this is the Phantom HMS. It doesn't have the the additional safety features. So this is really aimed at a lightweight trad climber, alpine climbers, belay device, carabiner. Can be used for rigging as well. I know at the start you mentioned these belay specific carabiners. Obviously you can use beaners like this for more than just belaying. You can use them for setting up an anchor. For rigging with. They're all a fully rated, fully safe beaner, as obviously. So this has that pear shape to it. So what we've tried to do with the Phantom HMS is make a very lightweight, quite compact, obviously full strength, carabiner. So it's in prototype form. With designing gear at DMM, obviously there's a lot of work which goes into a new product. There's a lot of work just in the tooling. Making, once you've decided on this product, if this product was perfect now, we'd still have to make all the tooling, do all of those things, which cost a lot and take a lot of time. But a lot of initial designing is done on computer or on 3D printing, kind of plastic ones. At some point you have to commit a little bit more money and get actual prototypes. So one of the funner bits of my job when I work with the team is getting prototypes out to the team, getting actual feedback in the field using it. It's great to if I gave you this, you can feel it and chat about it, but it's a whole other level to go and actually go climbing with it.
And with a name like Phantom, I presume lightweight is the key for this. How much does it, or will it weigh, hopefully?
It's going to be around about 54, 55, 56 grams. Obviously, like I'm saying, it's not. I think it's pretty likely it's going to stick like this, but there might be little tweaks, little changes we do.
Cool. Well, you've seen it here first. This will be coming to markets near you soon, hopefully, if DMM decides to take it further, which I'm sure you will, because it looks beautiful. So, okay, so to sum up the Belay Carabiner situation, I think for me, it's not that I don't want to use them, it's just I never have. And it's like, I think when I initially saw that big Belay Master, I just thought beginner. I thought that I don't want that extra bulk. I don't just want a specific thing. What I like about the evolution of that is the fact that you don't really need to think about it. It's just a safety device. It's a safety feature that you just clip in, go. There's no extra faff for it. So I get it. I do get it. And it's some of those things I think I need to start using it, because at the end of the day, I'm not infallible. No one is infallible. And it takes a second for something to cross-load and then an accident to happen, which I guess is what you're aiming for.
Yeah, completely. And that point you made is one of the key ones for me. Is it doesn't add any extra complexity, any extra time, any extra, there's no real downsides to these particular Rhino and Seros. They just make it a little bit safer.
Cool. Well, thank you for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate it. More information in the description below. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.